Arriving home after a day of work, a man is faced with the worst scene of his life and is outraged by it. He watches in disbelief as his fiancée interacts strangely with his own father. He records the two of them with his cell phone, remaining silent so they do not notice his presence. After finishing the recording, the sad man half closes the door and leaves the room. Minutes later, the father and fiancée leave the room, walking calmly down the hall without saying a word, and the man watches in disbelief at their ability to betray him so easily. Entering the living room, the man loses patience and thinks out loud, saying that the father and woman will see whom they messed with. Then thinks of a plan and leaves. The man arrives at a family event with no expression of happiness. The guests applaud his arrival, but he remains serious. Then his fiancée appears with a huge smile on her face while being greeted with more applause. Approaching her fiancé, the woman tries to kiss him but is rejected, so she pretends normality, so the guests don't notice and sits next to him. Showing signs of being on the edge of madness, the man clenches his hands to control his anger, and the woman notices his strange behavior but stays calm. The man's father also arrives at the event, smiling and greeting his son, but is dismissed. The father then gives a loving hug to his daughter-in-law, who looks at her father-in-law with a smile. The man thanks the guests for their presence and says that it is an honor that they are all there to celebrate the wedding between his son and daughter-in-law. After all, he is proud that his son is committed to such a serious relationship. With that, the man approaches his son's fiancée, giving her another hug and thanking her for making his son happy. Finally, he asks for more applause and then suggests that she say a few words to the guests. Pleased, she stands up and begins to thank the guests for accepting her invitation. After all, they are very important, and despite being a small event, it is very representative, as she didn't expect her fiancé to propose so soon, making it a very special occasion. Concluding her speech, she refers to her father-in-law and confesses that she especially needs to thank him for always being there. She then hugs him. At this moment, the groom becomes agitated and screams for everyone to stop. The guests watch the argument in shock as the man continues, saying that he's tired of seeing this fake show. In a fit of anger, the groom takes the wedding rings out of his pocket and throws them on the table, saying that she should find someone else to marry. Confused, the woman asks why the groom is doing this. With anger, the man turns to the guests thanking their presence and then explains the reason for his outburst. He grabs his cell phone and shows them the video of the woman's affair with his own father, leaving the guests shocked. The groom's father, confused, asks what is going on. The man becomes furious, blaming both of them for being unfaithful and expressing his anger at his father's treachery. He turns to the woman, expressing his disappointment and disbelief that she could be promiscuous. In a fit of rage, she slaps the man and demands that he stops talking. A guest interferes, but the woman continues to say that she will never allow the groom to speak to her disrespectfully. Nervously, he asks if the woman thought she was the only one doing it and confesses that he also cheated on her for a long time with someone she least expected, and that person was her best friend. Turning around, the man takes the hand of the woman next to him and they are involved in a long kiss. The guests are perplexed by the sequence of events and watch in silence. After the kiss, the man says that the bride's friend is indeed a real woman and offers everything he really needs, unlike the bride, as he never liked her company and was actually keeping up appearances for the money. The woman reaches her limit and says she cannot believe that her own groom is doing this, as she thought his intention to get married and start a family with her was true, but on the contrary, the groom is a fake and selfish person. Confusion ensues as one of the guests can no longer handle all the problems and invites everyone to leave, but the woman denies their exit and shows an explanation for what really happened in that recording. From a different angle, the bride is seen with her husband's father hitting her back, and an olive that was stuck in her throat falls out of her mouth. Her father-in-law is concerned and asks if she's okay. She responds that she's getting better, and he suggests she drinks water. Both then walk away. Continuing the conversation, the woman informs her fiancé that she has never been unfaithful, as she has patiently awaited the moment of their marriage. However, she now expresses gratitude to God for the truth finally coming to light. Despite this, the man still accuses her of lying. The woman responds by saying she does not require his belief and suggests he review the security footage of their home. Upon watching the recordings on his phone, the man becomes remorseful and begins to apologize for the things he said in the heat of the moment. The woman interrupts him as he continues to profess his love and commitment to their marriage, since he has longed for this for so long. Begging for forgiveness, he acknowledges that he acted impulsively and tries to persuade the bride to reconsider, as he still loves her deeply. Outraged by the man's deceit, the bride commands him to be quiet, as she no longer wants to hear his voice, and orders him to leave her sight. Heartbroken, the man walks towards the exit, and the traitorous friend mockingly leaves the scene. Distraught, the woman does not know what to do, but is comforted by one of her relatives who asks her to remain calm. She begins to cry as the other guests approach to show their support, and the former groom's father expresses regret for what has happened.